morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is English Bulletin with me, Yutsa Tribe. The top stories first. NCP leaders demand Secretariat meeting immediately. Party to discuss health issues and economic crisis during the proposed meeting. Former speakers urge government to call winter session of the Parliament. Leaders stress the need of Parliament to check government activities. More than 2,700 new cases of coronavirus reported across the country. Number of active cases rises to 35,000. Joe Biden wins US presidency. Supporters celebrate in deeply divided nation. And Chelsea outplay bottom side Sheffield United. Southampton defeat Newcastle to retain a top. And now the news in detail. Leaders of the ruling Nepal Communist Party have submitted a written request to the Prime Minister to convene the Secretariat meeting immediately. The leaders who made such request include Executive Chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal and 4 other Secretariat members. The disintegrated leaders demanded the Secretariat meeting with Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, who is also the joint chairman of the party, to resolve the internal dispute within the party. Party spokesperson Narayan Kaji Shrestha informed that the leaders reached the Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar yesterday and submitted the request. Other leaders present in the delegation were Jhalanath Khanal, Madhav Kumar Nepal and Bamdev Gautam. They have requested the Prime Minister to call the meeting within a few days. Shrestha informed that the leaders demanded the meeting to discuss issues like the health crisis created by coronavirus, economic meltdown and to address the concerns of the people. Spokesperson Shrestha said that the Secretariat meeting is vital at a time when the party has failed to implement the decisions of the Standing Committee meeting. He reiterated that the Secretariat meeting is necessary to maintain party unity. Former speakers of the House of Representatives have urged the government to hold the winter session of the Parliament without any delay. They were of the view that the Parliament is necessary to lead the government toward the right path in order to address the concerns of the public during the current crisis. The former speakers said that parliamentary affairs is an integral part of democracy and therefore pointed out to the need of holding the House session. They said that the Parliament's role is more important during the current pandemic. They pointed out to the possibility that government might become autocratic if the Parliament remains closed for a long time due to coronavirus. In this context, they urged the government to call the House session immediately after the Tihar festival. Former Speaker Onsari Gharti reminded the government that the Parliament cannot remain inactive for more than 6 months as per the constitutional provision. She said parliamentary session is necessary for people's representatives to put forward the people's problem to the government during the time of crisis. Former Speaker Ramchandra Paudel said that House session is vital because it directs government towards the right path. He said that some laws that require immediate endorsement have been pending because the government has closed the Parliament since a long time owing to the coronavirus pandemic. Opposition parties accused the government abruptly prorogued the last session of Parliament despite the country facing major crisis. The government yesterday confirmed 2,753 new cases of coronavirus during the latest round of tests. Kathmandu Valley alone reported 1,512 new cases yesterday. According to the government officials, active cases of coronavirus in the valley currently stands at 18,862. Health authorities informed that the disease has infected a total of 191,883 people in the country so far. According to the Health Ministry, 155,114 patients have recovered from the disease, while the number of active cases across the country has increased to 35,435 from the overnight tally of 34,905. Meanwhile, the death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 1,067 in Nepal, following the confirmation of 17 new deaths across the country. Nepal is currently among the top 34 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. Nepal Health Research Council has initiated the process of purchasing COVID-19 vaccine. Medically advanced nations across the globe have been testing COVID-19 vaccines currently. The government has decided to purchase such vaccines if their test is successful, informed Executive Director of NHRC Dr. Pradeep Gyawali. Along with the preparations to purchase the vaccine, the government has also decided to push for clinical experiment of vaccine in Nepal, Dr. Gyawali further informed. Testing of vaccines in medical science is a regular phenomenon. Hence, there are no dangers in conducting the clinical test of vaccine in Nepal, Dr. Gyawali assured. According to Health Council, more discussions are underway for carrying out a clinical test of vaccines produced by Hongxi Company of China. In other news, security expert Dr. Umesh Bhattrai described Indian Army Chief Manoj Mukunda Narvane's recent visit to Nepal as an important milestone for strengthening the bilateral relations between the two nations. Narvane's visit has opened doors to end the recent political rift among the two neighbours and resume negotiations, Dr. Bhattrai said. General Narvane's recent visit has sparked some hopes to reignite the diplomatic relations between the states to some extent, Dr. Bhattrai opined. Conferring General Narvane with the honorary rank of General of the Nepalese Army has rejuvenated the diplomatic practice among the two nations, stalled since a year. The visit has definitely sent a positive message among the citizens of both the countries, Dr. Bhattrai further added. Bilateral ties between the two armies root back to the British era, and therefore military diplomacy does not require a separate recognition, Dr. Bhattrai further informed. The ultimate goal of diplomacy is to promote and improve relations between the nations, Dr. Bhattrai added. And now the news from Economic Front. Marigold flowers have dried out before being plucked in Navalpur as the Tihar festival got postponed by a month this year. Navalpur might face scarcity of flowers during the peak of Tihar after marigold flowers started drying up with the arrival of winter. Marigold flower is significant during Deepavali, the festival of light, as it is used for worshipping and decorating homes and temples. According to the locals, the flowers that were blooming until the end of October started drying up with the change of season and arrival of winter. Welcome back, and now the international news. Democrat Joe Biden won the U.S. presidential election on Saturday after a bitter campaign, sparking street celebrations among the supporters in major cities, even as President Donald Trump refused to accept defeat. According to Reuters, Biden's victory in the battleground state of Pennsylvania put him over the threshold of 270 electoral college votes he needed to clinch the presidency, ending 4 days of nail-biting suspense in a deeply divided country. With the campaign over, it's time to put the anger and the harsh rhetoric behind us and come together as a nation. It's time for America to unite and to heal, Biden said on Twitter. Congratulations poured in from abroad, including from Conservative British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and German Chancellor Angela Merkel, making it hard for Trump to push his repeated claims without evidence that the election was rigged against him. Trump, who was golfing when the major television networks projected his rival had won, immediately accused Biden of rushing to falsely pose as winner. "This election is far from over," he said in a statement. Trump has filed a raft of lawsuits to challenge the results, but election officials in states across the country say there has been no evidence of a significant fraud, and legal experts say Trump's efforts are unlikely to succeed. Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris delivered the victory speech at Wilmington, Delaware this morning. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Chelsea came from behind to defeat bottom club Sheffield United to reach to the third of the Premier League table. It was McGoldrick for the Blades that took the lead early in the 9th minute at Stamford Bridge. However, Chelsea's young side turned the score to 4-1 by the end of the game, leaving the visitors still at the bottom of Premier League. Goals from Tammy Abraham, Ben Chilwell, Thiago Silva and Timo Werner all scored to give Chelsea their 4th straight win. Man of the match Hakim Ziyech assisted twice for Chelsea, once when Thiago Silva headed a free kick at the near post and when Timo Werner added a 4th. In other matches, Southampton United also sealed a 2-0 victory against Newcastle United to remain at the top of the table. Champions Liverpool has played one game less and will face Manchester City today. The win takes them ahead of Saints. Manchester United also managed to beat Everton by 3-1 after their humiliating Champions League defeat last week. Crystal Palace also defeated newbies Leeds United with a comfortable scoreline of 4-1. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. NCP leaders demand Secretariat meeting immediately. Party to discuss health issues and economic crisis during the proposed meeting. Former speakers urge government to call winter session of Parliament. Leaders stress the need of Parliament to check government activities. More than 2,700 new cases of coronavirus reported across the country. Number of active cases rises to 35,000. Joe Biden wins the US presidency. Supporters celebrate in deeply divided nation. And Chelsea outplay bottom side Sheffield United. Southampton defeat Newcastle to retain a top position. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website at JanataSamachar.com. We urge all our viewers to take all necessary precautions against coronavirus infection. Keep washing your hands, keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.